We may be getting a repeat of one of the most iconic scenes from the original L Word, and I'm going to give you a clue. So, roll the clip.
What you doing, Rodeo Drive? Shopping, bitch. Stop fucking fouling me! It's like I'm traveling with the ball.
That's right, we may be getting something very similar to the basketball episode from season 4 of the original L Word. Leisha and Kate had this to say. This is, of course, about 2 weeks old because it was the episode this week, and they're always a little bit ahead with the podcast. So this is from this week's episode of Pence.
Although we had a really active day yesterday, you and I.
Well, we are not allowed to spoil anything.
No. I'm not.
But there's a lot of extracurricular activity going on.
Yes.
And
I don't know about you, but I went from that you and I were doing. I went directly to meet with a couple landscape designers for the house. And by the time I got to the meeting, I was so tired.
Mm-hmm.
I could barely stand up. My back was killing me. My ass felt like I had done 50 squats in a row.
I know.
And so by the time I got home at 3:00, I was ready for bed.
Well, remember how my neck hurt all last week?
Oh, yeah.
This is
How
why.
did you feel yesterday?
I'm okay so far. I iced it when I got home, but what we're prepping for is
just don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about it. But I felt accomplished after leaving you yesterday.
I feel great. I'm having a blast. It's just
I'm enjoying it so
taking
much.
Its toll.
It's fun. It's a challenge. It's
the best.
It's a challenge. I always like a challenge, but
me too.
The exhaustion. My ass is still sore, by the way.
I know the cast has been talking a lot about pickleball lately, and I mean, it could be that, and it could be basketball. I mean, what I thought of immediately was horse riding, because when I was a kid, I rode competitively. I was really into it, and I don't ride anymore, but when I do, I have an occasional couple of times a year ride, and when I do that, the next day, it's so killer on the lower part of your body because I'm not used to it anymore. I don't use those muscles anymore. And I mean, obviously I don't know what Kate and Leisha get up to, but I don't think they're horse riders. So that's where I went. But of course, there's other things that could do that. I also thought of the bike ride episode from season 5 of the original, because bike riding can sometimes have that effect too if you're doing it a lot. But they also mention neck, so I don't know, there's certainly a lot of things that it could be, and I would love to know what you guys think the most likely candidate is for what they're getting up to on set. So let me know down in the comments section what you think it is. This week, we also had some interviews from Sepideh Moafi, so we're going to roll those clips as well and then discuss.
World, Generation Q, your character Gigi has such an intense fan base from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
What's it like just growing with Gigi during the series?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. She gives me, she's taught me so much. She is so unapologetic about who she is and how she lives. And I think for that reason, she's an inspiration, not just to the queer community, but to all people, because it's just so refreshing to see people who are fully human. They're real, they're flawed, they're adventurous and risk-taking. And yeah, I just feel better about myself when I play Gigi.
Let's talk really quickly about the L Word Generation Q, which I can see we have a lot of fans watching right now. Oh my goodness. Did we film next season? Are we in the process? Where are we at?
Yeah, we're in the process of filming the 3rd season. And I can't.
No, you can't say anything
because it's spoilers and there's so much happening this season. But yeah, I think we're taking big risks and making big choices. So that's exciting. Anytime I can be part of that kind of risk-taking processes.
Oh my gosh.
So as Seppi said, they are apparently taking big risks this season. I'm really interested to know what this is about. I mean, I think this year we know a little bit less than we knew last year, and they're being even more guarded with what's going on the show. I do have a few more things to talk about that's giving us a little bit of an indication as to what's going on. But when it comes to big risks, I'm thinking, is this big risks like the overall storyline or just some of the things they're doing in episodes? I have spoke about this before, but I think they're going for more of a season arc rather than episode to episode, which was a lot of what we got last season, because it seems as though they're hiring directors for multiple episodes. So I think that is a sign towards that sort of thing. I mean, M. Weinstein has directed 2 episodes, and Catriel Kindred has directed 2 episodes, and apparently Catriel is also coming back later on in the season. So there definitely seems to be a focus on that. And also, we know they brought in a lot of comedy writers this season, so I hope that we're going in that direction.
Turn the music back on. See, they're the 2 girls that own Shimon.
Hearing things like they're doing something sport related, physical related, that does seem as though they're going in the right direction. And they're also bringing in guest stars. So last week I did a video where I said I thought Kehlani was joining the show, and the next day the news came out that Kehlani was joining the show. So I think that's really great, and it will also bring publicity to the show. I mean, all my younger cousins and my brother and stuff, they all love Kehlani. So now they think that's so cool. Well, now they think the L word's cool that Kehlani's in it. So I think that's going to be a great thing when her episode airs. I'm hoping that they, actually market the show and give it some publicity. So that will be really great. She's already wrapped all of her filming. It was the week of July 5th that she was on set. So they didn't actually release the information until after she'd filmed her stuff. As I've spoken about before too, we of course have our returning guest stars: Laurel Holloman, Jamie Clayton, Rosie O'Donnell, Vanessa Estelle Williams. Donald Faison still up in the air. But speaking of Donald Faison, we know that the last look that we got at Tom and Alice in the finale was on an airplane, and that might not be the last that we've seen of planes, because one of the guest actors, if you guys remember my last video, I posted about that guy who was cast as an EMT, and he had posted a picture of him with the ambulance. And remember, we weren't sure whether it was Nat and Gigi, and then I made my video and I said, I think this is Nat and Gigi. And then the next day he posted a picture of him and Ari. So we were like, oh, okay, this is the L word. And he actually posted a few days ago with the same EMT uniform. So he's still working on the show. And then literally a few hours ago, then from when I'm recording this, which is Saturday, the 6th of August at like 4 p.m. UK time, he actually posted him sitting on an airplane, and the caption makes it sound like he's on set. And following his Instagram, he seems very active about when he's cast and stuff. So it definitely seems as though he's still working on the L word. So I know some people might say, oh, he's probably like, I don't know, met Micah or something and dating. But I would lean more on maybe they're just using him in another scene again as like, a smaller part. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I'm really curious as to who is going to be on this plane, because obviously now, like, they're not filming the premiere. So I doubt it's the Tom and Alice scene, and I don't think we would go back to that anyway, because they do have that extra little bit of scene that they didn't use in the finale. So maybe they use that to close off Alice and Tom's storyline in the first episode, because I think that the little bits that they cut from the finale left things in more of a finite place rather than, you know, this huge up in the air cliffhanger. So I'm definitely curious if it's someone else and where we're kind of expanding our little L world to this season. There are some other little things, like they've been shooting quite a lot at night. They were shooting quite extensively at Shane's house the other day, and they have been there a few times this season, which is great that they got that location back, because I don't think they had access to it in season 2, but that was probably just a COVID restriction, or maybe the owners just didn't want, you know, people filming in their house with COVID still being so prevalent. And also there's someone leaving the show in the crew. One of the costume designers is leaving the show. Kind of odd that they're leaving mid-season, and I think speak about this on my Instagram, but maybe not on YouTube. A couple of weeks ago, maybe it's a month ago now, one of the new writers that was hired, they posted on Instagram they had gotten a job on The Goldbergs, which is a really big ABC show. And, you know, it's a traditional TV show that films from August until like April, and it airs from September, October until May. So I did think that was also super odd, because they just were starting to write for the L Word. So there is some little things here and there, but I guess, you know, there's situations like any job that people change. It's just usually people don't change jobs like mid episode run or mid-season. So we'll definitely see a bit more about what's going on, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure we'll be knowing even more next month. If you want to win a signed Laurel Holloman catalog from her deep dive show, make sure that you are subscribed and comment down below telling me what you think that they're up to with this physical stuff, and who you think is going to be on the airplane. As always, make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.